Hello, everybody. This is potentially a recording of this. Okay. Anyways, welcome to a video that I've basically never done before. Anyways, talking about if I could make a Godzilla movie franchise series. And let me tell you something. This was set up the big movie lines. First up, Godzilla. The first movie's gonna have his name, but the Monster King is going to be fighting against one creature, unlike the Mutos, which he's part or fights against two of them. And it's an alien, and it's not going to be King Ghidorah, okay? And we have Godzilla 2, which has the Monster King fighting against another alien, but not King Ghidorah as well. No. The first one is a bit more weak to his atomic fire breath. This one's just, I can just live with this, and is able, pretty much more like Muto, you can say. Anyways, the other one that's more set in stone is Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and there is 2 dots before King of the Monsters. That's because basically all sorts of giant monsters are now on this containment facility on an island. Okay? And then the creatures that will contain break out and accidentally let loose all the other monsters, and also so let out Godzilla. Godzilla was in a real cell, which was pretty much in confinement. The Monster King breaks out, and then fight against other monsters. Some of them even being species, and some of them being ones that he already fought against or fight against. And he has to also fight against a machine called Mecha Godzilla, and doesn't even join up with Mecha Godzilla because he's destroyed it for more battles. In the final battle, of course, where he takes on King Ghidorah. So let's begin on the monsters who will not make it into this. Mothra. Mothra is most likely going to be in King of the Monsters, but there's no room for Mothra. Most people believe that Mothra is just going to be on Godzilla's side or somewhere along the lines of protecting the planet. And in this Mothra is supposed to be more of an animal. Well, and yeah, unfortunately Mothra won't make the cut because let's just say there's a bit more going on to this. Anyways, there's also Destroyer won't make the cut because the only way for Destroyer to be in the game is either the alien movie would be alien bacteria, which unfortunately would have most likely not survived on the planet atmosphere, okay? Mostly affects multicellular organisms. And the 2 aliens that I've been teasing in this are, in a way, are from the same planet. King Ghidorah is different planet. Anyways, just a whole bunch of monsters eliminated. So what's going to be in the movie? Let's first talk about Godzilla, which literally is the King of the Monsters. It's pretty much basic abilities and even has his atomic fire breath. But one thing that you need to know, it walks like the TriStar Godzilla. This makes sense though. Its origins for this creature isn't something so odd and just way out there as most of them are. This time though, it's one in infinity for this version of the monster to even appear. Monster King to even appear. it's an unknown species of theropod dinosaur, so that mutates because of the KT extinction event. Yeah. It's more nuts than you think about. Japan series, a dinosaur that can survive the radiation and atomic bombs, or a mutated dinosaur. North America, however, I know. Mutated dinosaurs, things there, and then mutated iguanas, old creatures, and out of this old species of creatures that have an enemy. And then this version, however, would instead make it far more different, and will make it a bit different though, because this version of the King of the Monsters is a bit old as the last age. The last part of the extinction event. You expect the beard on this creature, but no, there is no beard. Yes, Japan even decided that the Monster King should be a plant. Showing how amazing. Anyways, the next one is Mecha Godzilla, which is just used as a doppelganger used to capture other kaijus, and sometimes even transport them or to actually kill the other creatures or straight up kill Godzilla. Unlike most versions, this version has basically no AI, really. Basically no AI. And does indeed have a pilot. But it's the machine's basically remote operated. Yeah. It also has a diamond, potentially artificial, diamond covered saw, which it uses to hurt Godzilla, since, yeah. Another creature will make an appearance is Rodan. Rodan in this is a species of pterosaur, so that actually deserves its name. Actually deserves the Rodan name, because it's pteranodons with its pteranodons that are basically have a growth cycle to be young and able to prey on one person at a time to then have the sizes big enough to then get big enough to someone be dwarfed by the King of the Monsters, but still be able to fight it. To still be able to fight the Monster King, which is indeed a battle I kind of want. Yeah. Anyways. Batra. Batra gets this card because Batra is going to basically be a Batra. You can say Batra's basically just going to be an animal. King Ghidorah's next. Wait, no, not King Ghidorah. Anguirus. Anguirus is going to be coming in not as an ally to Godzilla, but somewhat of a foe to him. I wish I was joking, but I'm not. Anyways, somewhat as a foe. He does make an appearance, though, in King of the Monsters. So it's fighting alongside the King of the Monsters. Fighting alongside Godzilla in one or two battle scenes. Those scenes, those scenes against other monsters besides the Rodans. And pretty much just gives us its alpha status to the monster, since it already fights it in another movie. Anyways, something else though. Next one is Biomonte. Before you go nuts, this is basically what happens. This is basically an attempt. Biomonte is one of the attempts at making a plant version of the Monster King to help mankind. And let me just tell you something. Plantzilla turns out to destroy. Turns out to be more of an enemy for mankind. Anyways, Plantzilla, going to be capitalized under Biomonte, is actually appears in its own film where it fights against Godzilla, alongside its minions that it can actually create, known as the flying rats of plants, made out of plants. Yeah. Then we have Biomonte, which was able to escape the fiasco of the Monster King battle. Tolan actually found the island, and actually called it home. And let's just say, fight. Wait. Biomonte basically breaks out not to become the apex monster, though just because it had the opportunity to. It does indeed fight against Godzilla, but doesn't really appear in the last scene like. Does indeed fight Godzilla and lives and escapes, but doesn't really bow down to him because this plant's basically him. And why would the king of the monsters fight the king of the monsters that related? You can really just imagine what film theory could have done with this. I hate to break it to you, but I'm related to you. No. Sorry, just had to. Anyways, next big one is Ennard. Is actually different. Is the Titans. Some of the creatures that are considered to be Titans get in, but are not complete Titans. The next one is Mekele Mubembe, which actually has two different entries. The first one is main Mekele Mubembe, which is an actual sauropod living somewhere, in the Congos. Goes and is actually taking the role of hippopotamuses and is very aggressive. We then have the Mekele Bombay. Yeah. Referring to how gigantic it is. How it's basically a gigantic version of the hippos. It does indeed fight Godzilla twice and still survives and bows down to the monster as king. Now we're going for a bit more of the off-road and wild ones, you can say. The first one, and this is just the species here. First one, the Hawaiian Rex. This is apex predator of the Hawaiian Islands. We already established it. Then we have the soul bats, which are dimorphodons, which are basically mutated giant dimorphodons that get squished by Godzilla, and with the pygmy T-Rexes are in Godzilla King of the Monsters. alongside the Stegogianthus, which used to live in Madagascar. However, Africa, continents Europe, Africa, and Asia, no islands, have the Dimetrodons, which are basically cave-dwelling Dimetrodons, which are able to climb. And you want to know what else? These creatures are more considered prey. They're not supposed to be apex predators. They're more like a thing that explores and learns more. Yeah. Oh yeah, by the way, the team are supposed to accidentally find a whole nest of them and accidentally invade, causing an attack on them. These guys are more peaceful. So, on this. Yeah. Next up are Sanand, having some odd body shapes, but then I'm not joking, but then we have we have another thing. I forgot King Ghidorah. Yeah, oh well. Then, well, yeah, pretty much having classic Warcraft looks and the Vendors looks, and then we have the pretty much the king, the Sea Bug King, which appears in, well, Little Mermaid Tales or something along those lines. That's why FML, and also makes somewhat of an appearance in the Blood Wars on Sea. Yeah. Anyways, this time they're having the normal king look that can then transform into a gigantic monster that basically somewhat towers over Godzilla, when in reality they're basically the same size. So yeah, you didn't expect that. Anyways, next up we're going on to King Ghidorah. 100% King Ghidorah. Has to be unique, okay? King Ghidorah, also known as alien life form Beta. Beta is the alpha of every single life form. Basically, it's the king of all creatures. Then we just have the monsters fighting for supremacy on who's alpha, including other aliens. Sooner or later, King Ghidorah just goes in like, I'm supposed to be the alpha. And one who's most respected to be the alpha, which is the king of the monsters, Godzilla, then fights King Ghidorah. In pretty much the most epic battle ever, and Godzilla wins. However, though, he still gets the title King of the Monsters. He just killed King Ghidorah. Just one King Ghidorah. I hate to get too deep, but this King Ghidorah is not the only King Ghidorah. This King Ghidorah is able to go into other timelines. So basically, when you see a King Ghidorah, it could basically be the child of the King Ghidorah, who fights off against my version of Godzilla. And here's where this monster really gets terrifying. the creature. This King Ghidorah is also able to make clones of itself. Therefore, any dragon monster that has multiple heads, or any creature with multiple heads, or the Moon Princess's dragon, snake dragon, yes, that's a kaiju, by the way, I don't know why, is in fact potentially King Ghidorah. Terrifying. I'm not joking though when I say terrifying. Yeah. This is basically King the Conqueror, but it's a King Ghidorah. And let me tell you something, this King Ghidorah is not willing to just die that easily. It's able to straight up respawn, but would most likely leave that part of the universe alone, instead find other worlds. In fact, Ace Scap as a supervillain, then 001, well, no, something along those lines or something, is in fact more of a clone to the King Ghidorah, is in fact a clone to the monster. So King Ghidorah, and that's more terrifying than you think about it. He wants to rule this world or destroy it, and then he slowly finds out that he's basically supposed to be the king of every single world, basically be apex life form, basically be the alpha of the whole universe here. And that's going to give him some anxiety. Also the how do I put this? The indestructible man thing. One of the videos, basically, see the hard to kill reptile, but as a superhero. But hero is also so potentially somewhat related to King Ghidorah. This version of King Ghidorah, anyways. The part about this King Ghidorah is you can't say no to it. This King Ghidorah basically could be more powerful than the Overseers. Could actually live longer than all of them. Therefore, this King Ghidorah could actually straight up fight legendaries Godzilla and King Kong. It could fight the new Heisei series Godzilla, could fight Space Godzilla, it could fight all sorts of monsters. And you know what? None of the wins matter. You can't kill this version of the monster. You cannot kill this King Ghidorah.